Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Truth Podcast. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so that you know when another awesome video is coming your way. Today, I get the privilege to talk to Marc Jarrett. He is a connector of dots. He is basically, he's a connector of people. He does a lot of this just from his heart to help each individual. He's a master of WhatsApp and has all kinds of WhatsApp groups that he is in and connecting people to better their business and their lives. He's a very, very, very caring person and also an awesome individual. So without further ado, let's start the show right now. Oh, welcome to the show. And today we have Marc Jarrett. He's the connector of dots. He's the person that finds the person that you need to reach out to that will help your business, personal life, whatever. Welcome to the show, Marc Jarrett.
Great to be here, Jim. Thanks for having me. Warm greetings from across the pond, from the still just United Kingdom to the United States.
Well, at least we're united.
We're not. Not
we're not. We aren't either, really. But tough times, man. It's been a rough 2020. For entrepreneurs as well as individuals. I was gonna lead off with this question: what in your business or your entrepreneurial journey has kind of held you back, like the roadblocks that have been in the way? And it's either internal, external, whatever. What has held you back from being the entrepreneur you want to be?
Historically, it's been bad habits.
That'll get you every time.
Yeah. I used to be a gambler. I used to spend far too much time and money on playing. I was addicted to slot machines, basically, when I was in my 20s and early 30s, as a kind of coping mechanism to get around problems. I was. My mother was an alcoholic.
My dad was. Yep.
So that was quite painful. My father raised me. And I developed this unhealthy addiction to these slot machines, pokies as they're known in Australia, and fruit machines they're known as here. That addiction over time now has kind of receded. Good. Actually, gambling, if you've got gambling under control, it can make for a great evening out. In fact, it's the only evening out where you can come back home with more money than you left with. But,
or less.
Yeah, yes.
Depending.
And of course, the United States now has gone gambling crazy. It used to be just Nevada, where you could gamble legally, but now I think you've got casinos pretty much everywhere. But you cannot gamble online. Is that right?
No, that's not true. There's sports betting that we can do online now. Some states have opened up betting on sports, like on football. I'm not sure exactly what sport, but I know there was a sport that they opened up. I think it was the NBA. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, they've opened up gambling. We're actually getting a casino here where I'm at too. So in my town. There's like 4 of them in Michigan, or I think there's more than that, but I don't really know. In my little area. Man, it is huge.
Big business. So I've got the highest paid CEO in the UK last year was a lady called Denise Coates, who's the CEO of something called Bet365.
Okay.
But that leaves a bitter taste in my mouth because I know that the majority of that money comes from compulsive gambling. And I've got it under control now, but when I was in the depths of my addiction, it kind of took over my life.
Yeah,
And that's why I didn't progress as far as I could have done at the time, because I was just constantly, it was taking up my time and my resources. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. And it's rough. It's a difficult addiction to get over. We have so many things at play in our mind. I think that's one of the things. I think the biggest challenge is, to any entrepreneur is to get out of their own head. I really believe that. I think there's so much that goes on about I'm not good enough. Who's going to listen to me? Who am I? All these things that we tell ourselves, or we have this idea about who we are and what the person looks like in the mirror, and oh my God, I don't like this about myself, I don't like that about myself. But when you come across somebody else, they're like, oh wow, you're so cool. But you don't see that. You see all the flaws.
By the way, when I was playing the machines and I hit the jackpot, I would get a dopamine hit.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's a rush.
And now when I'm multi-networking across multiple platforms and it's pinging here and this is happening and that is happening and it's all busy, I can feel the same drug, dopamine, flowing through my body. So but I'm now doing it in a more healthy way.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
By helping people, essentially. I've just always enjoyed connecting people. It's in my DNA. I've actually created human beings when I was sort of acting as Cupid matchmaker. One of them is now 22 years old. Wow. So I think if you were the mathematician in you might work out that was around 23 years ago. And as I enter the third and final chapter of my career, I'm now trying to do this professionally, because there is business boils down to people and trust. So what I've done is built and curated this a series of ecosystems where people feel safe to interact with one another, and ultimately go on to become friends and maybe business partners.
That's really good. How do you do that? I mean, what do you rely on? What do you do? How do you help people?
Well, my go-to tool is something called WhatsApp, which 2 billion people on the planet use. It's the world's most popular messaging platform. It's owned by Facebook, and it's pretty much ubiquitous here in Europe, India, and elsewhere. The one country that doesn't use it so much is the United States of America. So there's a huge paradox here. And I've been teaching Americans how to use WhatsApp, and it's opened their eyes up to a whole new world, literally. And, this tech is facilitating the connections that matter the most,
right?
Human ones. So it's a kind of conduit between LinkedIn, which I sometimes describe as the world's least social network.
It's getting better, but yeah, I get your point. They don't want to be social.
And I find the user interface on LinkedIn a bit clunky.
Yeah.
And there's always a delay. Whereas with WhatsApp, it's instant. But the real magic happens on Zoom and Remo, and I helped launch Remo last year, and Remo is actually better for networking than Zoom is, because those breakout rooms that you get in Zoom, I call them virtual prisons. Whereas on Remo, you've got the stage, you've got loads of tables which you can just hop around, breakout areas. It replicates a real world networking environment. Much better than Zoom. Zoom is the go-to now. It's like the Zoom boom.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. but Remo rocks, and
I've seen it, and I liked it. I liked
yeah,
it a lot. I thought that there was a lot more interaction, a lot more possibility for interaction because there's so many more people you can have there.
yeah. And I recently launched something called neverendingnetworking.com,
Nice.
which is nothing else than a always on lounge in Remo where people can just pop in when they want, ad hoc, and meet other people and network there. I think you say ass, right? Ass off.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know that term.
Well,
It might
yeah.
not be us.
So yeah, that's where because networking or meeting other human beings remains an inherent part of the human condition.
Yes.
You know, we are social animals. So what we're all collectively going through right now is not normal.
Right.
One good thing about it is the word pandemic is actually has its Greek origins, and it means all of us. So the pandemic is if you like, a global unifying force. We're all in this.
We're all experiencing it together, no matter where we are,
Exactly.
and it's very rare that's ever happened.
Well, this
this
is the
scale.
first pandemic in that I can remember.
Me too.
Of course, in 1914 there was the Spanish flu.
Yep, I was there for that. No, I'm kidding. I wasn't.
Yeah, that was, and 50 million people died in that.
Yeah,
So, this is really serious.
it is.
But
How do
thanks
you
to
cope with
Pfizer.
that? I actually think that the pandemic has really helped online business. It's really helped networking online. It's making it a new norm to where people that wanted to work online before, it has opened doors that have never been opened before. Not like this. I actually seen an increase in business and different stuff that I was doing when the pandemic started. I was just working like a dog. I still do, but is that been your experience too? That more people are more aware of Zoom and Remo and different things, that different tools that they can, bond and interact.
Totally. I've been extolling the virtues of virtual networking long before coronavirus came along.
Yep.
When I did that pre-corona, some people were a little bit skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's the only way to network. So people take me much more seriously.
Yes.
But irrespective of the pandemic, it's a great way to network. It's clean, zero carbon footprint.
Right.
It's free because we all pay the internet anyway. It's an
Yep.
essential utility.
Yep.
But best of all, I love the globality of it.
I do too. Like you're where right now?
I'm in Horsham in West Sussex in the south of England. So I'm about 4,500 miles away from you right now.
Yeah. And now we can talk and be on. You can be on my show, and have a good time. All that was not possible when I was growing up.
No. And imagine if I was in your studio now in person, it would have taken me the best part of a day to get there.
Yeah.
Cost several thousand dollars in airfares and hotel costs.
Yep.
And pumped a load of shit into the atmosphere.
Yep. Exactly. And we're doing this virtually, and you can stay in your home, I can stay in mine. You can have your coffee or whatever that is.
It says Mr. Right.
I seen that.
And my wife has got on her cup Mrs. Always Right.
Oh, that's good. Mark. That's perfect.
She is. Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah, I mean, it's been such a eye-opener for a lot of people when they have to stay indoors, when they have to not meet in big communal things like over here football. They can't have fans in the stands, and it's just weird. Basketball, same thing. These are big events that we have, concerts that are canceled, things that everything we do, festivals and the Macy's parade and the big things that we have over here, they're gone.
Well, it started with the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. That was the first major event to be cancelled.
Yep.
And then, of course, there was a domino effect, and it led to the cancellation of the Tokyo Olympics.
Yep.
The MICE industry, meetings, incentive, conferences, events, is an $840 billion industry. It's decimated.
Yep.
Anything that involves getting human beings together in one place is kind of screwed, I think it's the technical term.
Yeah, I think that is the technical term.
Did you attend in-person networking events?
No,
often.
Not many. No, I didn't. I'm a sports geek, so I would go to hockey games. I go to, football games, whatever. And I don't do networking that much other than online. I've always been an online presence more than a, in-person type of thing. It's just the travel and all the stuff and everything. I had a kidney replacement, so it was difficult for a long time to even travel at all, because I had to have a dialysis center that would take me, and they'd have to prearrange it and all this, and it was too much of a hassle. So I just got into the habit after about 3.5 years of not doing it, just doing it the way I've always done it, like this.
Well, you didn't miss much in as far as in-person networking events can actually be a little bit counterproductive in as far as that people are there to network. And let's say you and I meet in a crowded room, and we're surrounded by people who are keen to network. It's actually quite difficult to engage with another human being in an environment like that.
Because everybody wants everybody's time. And
exactly. It's all a little bit
jumbled.
It's not very focused. Also, some people find in-person networking a little bit intimidating, a bit like public speaking.
Yeah.
And women in particular sometimes find it can be a bit awkward, and they don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
At home on your PC, you're much more in control,
and if much safer too.
Absolutely.
I gotta say that as well.
Yeah.
Because when you were talking about women and networking events and stuff that can happen to people, that has happened to people,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a shame how some people act in this world. Sorry, just really, really don't like, the majority of people that act like it's all about them. It's the selfishness of humanity that is the worst part,
Yeah, lack of empathy, and we live in a binary world now. Unfortunately, I mean, you guys have had your issues with the presidential campaign, and here in the UK in 2016, we voted in a referendum to leave the world's largest trading bloc.
Oh yeah, the European Union.
Yeah, called Brexit.
Yeah, I remember.
And that split families and friendships.
Wow.
I refuse to let it get in the way of my friendships. I mean, personally, I voted to remain in, but I'm not going to hold that against people that voted to leave. But that's the trouble with these situations. There's no grey area. You either voted to leave or remain. You either voted for Trump or you didn't vote for him.
Right.
There's no grey area.
There's no in between.
Yeah.
Or you could have substituted and just wrote in Mickey Mouse, which is no. which is probably the best option. But anyway, when you're networking people, you're finding people for other people. How does that work? I mean, do you just have a sense of who would benefit another person? It just kind of pops in your head, or you just have a resource or a wealth of people that you have to choose from that might match up with what this other person needs? How does that whole dynamic work?
Well, when I meet someone for the first time, I always encourage them to speak first. And when they're speaking, I'm listening, and I'm like going through I'm connecting dots the whole time. So dots being either people or situations. So when they say, for example, that they're into golf, for example, I would then send them the invite link to my golf group. You know, golf is big business. And a lot of deals get done on the golf course.
Yes, they do.
I personally don't play it, but it's one sport that I'm drawn to, and I would like to learn maybe and start taking up that golf. It's quite like the idea of net walking. Have you come across that? Which is what golf is, I guess. Yeah.
You just somebody comes to you, you match them up with people that could help them, or there could be some kind of a deal or something. I'm just trying to get the whole dynamic of how that works, because people might want to come to you when they watch the show. They might want to come to you, and if they come to you, is it a free service? Is it something that's a paid service? What is it?
I'm a pay it forward kind of guy, so it's a free service. And I believe in facilitating those connections, and hashtag social selling. You know, building up those relationships socially first, and then entering into commercial arrangements later. And then I would then take a cut of that deal that came about as a result of my facilitating that situation.
Yeah,
that's one
work.
yeah. So I'm the guy that's got a lot of value at the beginning of the relationship, because I bring the people together. Unfortunately, sometimes once I've done that connecting and their relationship develops, I sometimes become the dreaded middleman. For whom they could save money by not paying
Cutting
me.
out.
It's called
Cutting out the middleman.
Yes, it's called circumvention.
Yes.
And that's something that I have to live with. But human beings are intrinsically altruistic creatures. I think they do realize that were it not for me, that deal would have never happened. And occasionally, in fact, this evening, I got an email out of the blue for something that I did many, many months ago. It's not going to change my life, not life-changing, but it's new money, additional revenue. Okay. And I am in this space where I can make life-changing money. We're talking... for example, one of my groups is called The Business of Art. Did you notice what I did there?
You just advertised your group? I don't know.
No. It's usually the art of business.
Oh,
so I switched it around. The Business of Art.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And there's a deal cooking in there involving a Turner painting, and if that comes good, that will be a significant transaction.
Nice. See, that's awesome. You know what? I have to say this. Mark is a really, really good person. He has a very good heart for people, and he's a genuine human being. So it's like I like it when good people succeed, because the more good people that succeed in our world, the better the world is.
Thank you, Jim. I really appreciate it.
It's true. So it's just the truth, you know. And I really have enjoyed getting to know you, because you're so passionate about what you do, and you have such a heart for the connecting of people and trying. I mean, we have a group on Sundays. We have a mastermind group. And Mark goes and somebody will say something. Mark's like, I got this person for you. You might want to, you know.
I just can't help it.
Right. No, it's great. It's great because then people can connect with more people, and then we can get more good stuff done in the world. I think that, like I said, there's a tipping point at some point where enough good people succeed that we can change the world. I really believe that.
And ultimately, and I'm sure you would, and a lot of people would, but if I could, I would like to become a philanthropist one day, because let's face it, I can't understand people that have got 10 million in the bank and they're desperate for that 11 million. You know, if I had that kind of money, that would be my tipping point, because
yeah, I think that is a case of whatever people have, they are afraid to lose. They're afraid to lose it. I said this to somebody recently. I was laying on my deathbed, and this is literal deathbed. This is, wasn't sure I was going to wake up. Pretty sure I wouldn't. So I had.
When was this?
This is when I had. I went in. I was working at a welfare to work program. Went in because I was feeling sick. They told me you need to go in, so I did. Found out that if I didn't go in, I had 2 days to live. Both my kidneys had shut down. Blood pressure was through the roof. They said, I don't know how you walked in here. I said, 1 foot in front of the other. They didn't like that joke, but still. Okay, so I'm laying there. I needed dialysis, emergency dialysis. I had a port put in my neck, comes out through my chest. It was hooked to my heart. So they have to pump out all the blood to process it and, get all the bad stuff out. So my body had been through a lot of rough stuff. So I had 5 blood transfusions when I walked in, So then we had the emergency surgery, and then, they had started dialysis, and I was just really, really out of it and weak and, really bad off, to be quite honest about it. And I laid there, and you know what? I never once thought of making money. What I thought about was the things that I wasn't going to be able to do, like spend time with my family. Like, just going out and watching a game or something. I may never get to do this again, because I may never wake up. The most important thing in life is people. The most important thing in life is relationships and how you treat people. And Mark, you have an amazing gift of connecting people. And that's the most important thing that we have in this entire world.
Absolutely. You've nailed it on the head. Life is exactly that. It's about people. It's about relationships. It's about family and friends. That's it. Everything else is secondary.
It really is. And when you have people that have a heart like that, you recognize it pretty quick.
Yeah. And you're never going to get someone on their deathbed thinking about, I wish I could have had that Mercedes or whatever. They're going to be talking about, None
of the material stuff matters. It really don't.
No. In fact, as I've got older, I've become less materialistic. And I recently watched a movie on Netflix called Minimalism, and that resonated with me. I think we've got far too much clutter in our life.
I agree.
With stuff that we don't need.
Right.
And we've now got this ridiculous situation in the UK where you've got warehousing units on the outskirts of towns which are full of people pulling their excess stuff because they want to have apartments or houses that look like IKEA showrooms, all minimalist. So they buy all this clutter and then put it into storage.
In the storage units, yeah.
Yep,
they do that here too.
Doesn't make sense.
We are the country of greed, I swear.
Yeah.
But it's been a pleasure talking to you today. It really has. Can can you give us your information on how people could get a hold of you that are watching the show that say, hey, I want to talk to Marc. I want to be networked with some people. Maybe there could be something for me in there. How do they get a hold of you, Marc?
Okay, so in terms of order of preference, it might not come as any surprise, but my preferred communication method is your least favorite one, Jim. WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is if you like, the backbone to WhatsApp is the phone number. And my phone number is country code 44. So it's +44 79 0678 6505, and then ping me a message on WhatsApp. If you don't have WhatsApp, just download it onto your smartphone. It's free and it's ad-free as well. So it's +44 79 0678 6505.
And we'll have a graphic up there, right? It'll be right below you, and we'll have that number up for everybody.
Good man, good man. The second most preferred way would be LinkedIn, and you're going to put the graphic up, but it's Marc with a C, JARRETT. And email, I try and avoid at all costs if possible. But if you insist, it's Marc Jarrett at gmail.com.
That's simple enough.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you being on today. Everybody, if you could hit the subscribe button and you could hit the little notification icon so you know when the next Entrepreneurial Truth podcast video is coming out, I really would appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. And you
Bye,
have
everyone.
a wonderful day. And from the UK and from America, we say good day.
God bless America.
And that is that. I just